Hello, and welcome to Unfiltered Reflections, the podcast where we dive deep into the raw, unfiltered truths of life, relationships, and self-discovery. I'm your host, Passion, and today we're tackling a topic that's been on my mind for a while now: energy vampires. You know those people who seem to suck the life out of you every time you interact with them? Yeah, we've all encountered them. But how do you identify them? And more importantly, how do you deal with them? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's dive into this unfiltered reflection. All right, let's start by defining what an energy vampire is. Simply put, an energy vampire is someone who drains your emotional, mental, or even physical energy. They leave you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and sometimes even questioning your own sanity. Now, I'm not talking about someone who's just having a bad day. We all have those moments. I'm talking about people who consistently leave you feeling drained after every interaction. But how do you know if you're dealing with an energy vampire? Well, the first clue is how you feel after spending time with them. Do you feel emotionally exhausted, irritable, anxious, or maybe even physically unwell, like you're coming down with a headache or body aches? If the answer is yes, then you might be dealing with an energy vampire. Now let's talk about some of the common traits of these energy-draining individuals. Trait 1, the big ego. Energy vampires often have an inflated sense of self-importance. They love to debate, argue, and pick fights. Their conversations usually revolve around themselves, and they're always trying to prove their superiority. They might interrupt you constantly, dismiss your opinions, and dominate conversations with their own accomplishments or problems. They often crave admiration and attention, and will go to great lengths to get it. Trait 2, aggression or passive aggression. Whether they're overtly aggressive or subtly passive-aggressive, energy vampires have a way of making others feel uncomfortable. They might make snide comments, give backhanded compliments, or use sarcasm to mask their hostility. They might also use guilt-tripping, silent treatment, or other manipulative tactics to control your behavior. Their aggression can be direct, such as yelling or insults, or indirect, such as spreading rumors or sabotaging your efforts. Trait 3, paranoia. Energy vampires often have an unjustified suspicion of others. They might accuse you of having ulterior motives or assume the worst in every situation. This creates a tense and toxic environment. They might constantly question your loyalty, suspect you of disloyalty, or believe that others are out to get them. This can lead to distrust, defensiveness, and a general feeling of unease in the relationship. Trait 4, resentment and anger issues. They hold grudges and have a hard time letting go of past issues. They'll constantly bring up old arguments or mistakes, making it difficult to move forward. They might become easily angered, even over small things, and their anger can be disproportionate to the situation. They may have trouble expressing their anger in a healthy way, leading to outbursts or passive-aggressive behavior. Trait 5, narcissism. Energy vampires are often self-absorbed and have an inflated sense of importance. They disregard others' feelings or needs and expect everyone to revolve around them. They may lack empathy, meaning they have difficulty understanding or sharing the feelings of others. They might exploit others for their own gain, and they often crave admiration and attention. Trait 6, melodramatic behavior. They exaggerate problems or events to gain attention and sympathy. Everything is a crisis with them, and they thrive on the drama. They might create unnecessary drama, overreact to minor issues, or exaggerate their problems to gain sympathy and attention. They often enjoy being the center of attention, even if it's negative attention. Trait 7, constant complaining. Their conversations are filled with negativity. They're always whining, bitching, and complaining about something, leaving you feeling drained and pessimistic. They might focus on the negative aspects of life, even when there's a lot to be grateful for. They may also be unwilling to take responsibility for their own problems, blaming others or circumstances instead. Trait 8, insecurity. Energy vampires have a constant need for reassurance and acceptance. They require you to always validate them, which can be emotionally exhausting. They might constantly seek validation, fishing for compliments or fishing for reassurance about their worth. This can be a sign of low self-esteem and a need for external validation. Trait 9. Manipulative behaviors. They engage in guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, and other manipulative tactics to control others. They know how to push your buttons and use your emotions against you. They may use tactics like playing the victim, making you feel guilty, or threatening to withdraw their affection or support to get what they want. Trait 10. Jealousy. They show an unhealthy level of envy towards others' successes or possessions. Instead of being happy for you, they'll try to bring you down or make you feel guilty for your achievements. They may feel threatened by your successes and try to undermine your confidence, or they may make negative comments about your achievements or possessions. Now that we've identified the traits, let's talk about how to deal with energy vampires. Step 1. Recognize the signs. The first step is to recognize that you're dealing with an energy vampire. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with them. If you're consistently feeling drained, it's time to take action. Be honest with yourself about the pattern of your interactions with this person. Step 2. Set boundaries. Boundaries are essential when dealing with energy vampires. Decide what you're willing to tolerate and what's off limits. Communicate your boundaries clearly and firmly. Don't be afraid to say no. Clearly define what you will and will not accept in the relationship. This could include limiting the topics of conversation, the amount of time you spend together, or the level of negativity you're willing to tolerate. Step 3. Limit your interactions. If possible, limit your interactions with the energy vampire. You don't have to cut them out of your life completely, but reducing the time you spend with them can help protect your energy. This might mean avoiding certain situations, limiting phone calls, or being less available. Step 4. Don't engage in their drama. Energy vampires thrive on drama. Don't give them the satisfaction of engaging in their arguments or feeding into their negativity. Stay calm and detached. Don't take the bait. Don't get drawn into arguments, gossip, or negativity. Respond calmly and factually or simply disengage from the conversation. Step 5. Focus on self-care. Dealing with an energy vampire can take a toll on your mental and emotional well-being. Make self-care a priority. Spend time doing things that recharge and nourish you. This could include exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, or spending time with positive people. Step 6. Seek support. If you're struggling to deal with an energy vampire, don't hesitate to seek support. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. Sometimes, an outside perspective can help you see things more clearly. A therapist can provide tools and strategies for dealing with difficult personalities. Step 7. Practice detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're not allowing the energy vampire's behavior to affect you. Practice letting go of their negativity and focusing on your own peace of mind. Remind yourself that their behavior is about them, not about you. Step 8. Protect your energy. Your energy is precious. Don't let anyone take it away from you. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting people who inspire and support you. Limit your exposure to negativity and seek out experiences that fill you with joy and hope. Step 9. Know when to walk away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away. If the energy vampire is toxic and unwilling to change, it's okay to distance yourself from them. Your well-being is more important than maintaining a toxic relationship. This might mean ending a friendship, distancing yourself from a family member, or setting firm boundaries in a workplace relationship. Step 10. Reflect and learn. Every encounter with an energy vampire is an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflect on the experience and ask yourself what you can do differently in the future to protect your energy. Learn from your interactions. What were the triggers? What could you have done differently? What can you do to protect yourself in the future? Remember, you deserve to be in environments and relationships that are uplifting and nurturing. Don't let energy vampires rob you of your peace and happiness. All right, let's start by understanding the why behind energy vampires. What makes them behave the way they do? The psychology of energy vampires. Energy vampires aren't born this way. Their behavior often stems from deep-seated insecurities, unresolved trauma, or a lack of emotional intelligence. Let's break it down. 1. Insecurity and low self-esteem. Many energy vampires struggle with feelings of inadequacy. Their need for constant validation or attention is often a mask for their low self-esteem. By draining others, they temporarily feel a sense of power or control. They may feel like they are not good enough, and they try to compensate by controlling or manipulating others. This behavior can be a way to feel superior and gain a sense of self-worth. 2. Unresolved trauma. Some energy vampires carry emotional wounds from their past, whether it's childhood neglect, toxic relationships, or other traumatic experiences. Their draining behavior is often a coping mechanism, a way to protect themselves from further hurt. They may have experienced abandonment, abuse, or other trauma that has left them feeling insecure and distrustful. Their behavior can be a subconscious attempt to control their environment and avoid being hurt again. 3. Lack of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions and those of others. Energy vampires often lack this skill. They don't realize how their behavior affects those around them, or they simply don't care. They may struggle to understand the emotions of others, and they may have difficulty regulating their own emotions. 4. Fear of vulnerability. Being vulnerable requires courage. It means opening yourself up to the possibility of rejection or hurt. Energy vampires often avoid vulnerability by deflecting, blaming others, or creating drama. They might be afraid of being rejected, so they try to maintain control of the situation. They may avoid expressing their true feelings or needs for fear of being vulnerable. 5. Need for control. Energy vampires often feel out of control in their own lives. By draining others, they gain a sense of control over their environment. This can manifest as manipulation, guilt-tripping, or creating chaos. They may feel powerless in their own lives, so they try to control others to feel more in control. They may also feel that controlling others is a way to protect themselves from harm. Understanding the psychology behind energy vampires doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help us approach them with empathy. And empathy is the first step toward transforming these relationships. Transforming toxic relationships. Now, let's talk about how to shift these draining dynamics. Is it possible to turn an energy vampire into a positive force in your life? The answer is sometimes. It's important to note that you can't change someone else. The only person you can change is yourself. 1. Lead by example. Energy vampires often mirror the energy they receive. If you respond with calmness, kindness, and positivity, they may start to reflect that back. This doesn't mean tolerating their toxic behavior, but rather modeling healthier ways of interacting. Be the change you want to see. 2. Encourage self-awareness. Gently help the energy vampire become aware of their behavior. For example, you might say, "I've noticed that when we talk, I often feel drained afterward. Is there something going on that we need to address?" Framing it as a concern rather than an accusation can open the door to a productive conversation. Focus on the behavior, not the person. 3. Set clear expectations. Energy vampires thrive in ambiguity. Be clear about what you expect from the relationship. For example, "I value our friendship, but I need our conversations to be more balanced and positive." Make your expectations known. Be direct about what you will and will not accept in the relationship. 4. Practice compassion. Remember, energy vampires are often struggling with their own pain. While you don't have to tolerate their behavior, approaching them with compassion can help break the cycle of negativity. Try to understand where their behavior is coming from. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but it can help you respond with more empathy and less reactivity. 5. Know your limits. Not every energy vampire is willing or able to change. If your efforts to transform the relationship aren't working, it's okay to step back. Your well-being comes first. It's important to accept that you can't change someone else. You can only control your own behavior and responses. Long-term strategies for protecting your energy. Dealing with energy vampires isn't just about managing individual interactions. It's about building a lifestyle that protects your energy in the long term. Here are some strategies to help you do that. 1. Cultivate self-awareness. The more aware you are of your own emotional state, the better equipped you'll be to recognize when someone is draining you. Practice mindfulness, journaling, or meditation to stay in tune with your feelings. Pay attention to your body and your emotions. 2. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. A strong support system can help you recharge and stay grounded when dealing with energy vampires. Cultivate relationships with people who are supportive, positive, and understanding. 3. Practice energy hygiene. Just like physical hygiene, energy hygiene is about keeping your emotional and mental space clean. This might include setting boundaries, saying no, or taking time to disconnect and recharge. This means protecting your energy and creating space for yourself. 4. Develop emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges. Strengthen your resilience by practicing self-care, staying positive, and focusing on solutions rather than problems. Build your inner strength. 5. Embrace detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing others' behavior to control your emotions. Practice letting go of what you can't control and focusing on what you can. Learn to separate your emotions from the situation. 6. Prioritize joy. Make time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Whether it's a hobby, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones, prioritize the things that make you feel alive. Focus on things that bring you happiness. 7. Seek professional help. If you're struggling to protect your energy, don't hesitate to seek help from a therapist or counselor. They can provide tools and strategies to help you navigate these challenging relationships. A therapist can provide a safe space to process your emotions and develop coping skills. Real-life stories, lessons from the trenches. To bring this topic to life, let's hear from some of our listeners who've dealt with energy vampires and come out stronger on the other side. Listener Story 1. Sarah's Journey. Sarah shared how she dealt with a toxic coworker who constantly criticized her work and spread rumors about her. At first, Sarah tried to ignore it, but the stress started affecting her health. She finally set boundaries by confronting the coworker and involving HR. While the relationship didn't improve, Sarah's confidence and peace of mind did. Listener Story 2. Mark's Transformation. Mark had a friend who was always negative and complaining. Instead of cutting the friend off, Mark decided to lead by example. He started sharing positive stories and encouraging the friend to focus on solutions. Over time, the friend began to shift his mindset, and their relationship became more balanced. Listener Story 3. Lisa's Self-Discovery. Lisa realized that she was the energy vampire in some of her relationships. After a loved one pointed out her draining behavior, Lisa sought therapy and worked on her self-esteem and emotional intelligence. Today, she's more mindful of how she interacts with others and has built healthier, more fulfilling relationships. These stories remind us that dealing with energy vampires is a journey. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Energy vampires are a part of life, but they don't have to control your life. By understanding their behavior, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your well-being, you can protect your energy and create a more positive, fulfilling life. Remember, you have the power to choose how you respond to these challenges. You can't control others, but you can control yourself. That's it for today's episode of Unfiltered Reflections. I hope this discussion on energy vampires has been helpful and eye-opening for you. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Until next time, stay true to yourself, protect your energy, and keep reflecting unfiltered.